Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Mike Ferris, and in this video lesson I'm going to be showing you how I paint this bounty hunter step by step, so stay tuned to the end so you don't miss any lesson details. And check out the description box below for a list of colors and materials. Now, starting off, as always, I have my two papers taped seam to seam on the back, and they're 8.5 by 11 inches and cut to my canvas size, which is an 11 by 14 inch pre-stretched canvas. And using 1-inch squares and numbering this grid from horizontal and vertically, I can locate everything proportionately and use this method to draw out my bounty hunter with. So now to start off with, I have some Phthalo Blue right here, and raw Umber, Ultramarine Blue, Permanent Black, Cad Yellow, Cad Orange, and of course Titanium White as always. So for the background, I'm taking a little Phthalo Blue and some black together, and with this dark value I'm going to start applying some of these buildings and some of this Death Star sort of action going on, and I want to make this sort of a blurry bokeh background. So I'm going to fade some of this stuff together and blend it in with each other, and so I'm going to vary the colors as well. Sometimes I'll add more blue, other times I'll add more raw umber to darken it. And so now I've just taken some white to this value. As you can see, it's brighter now, and I'm fading those two together. And just going to vary these colors here and there and add other values along the way. So now picking up titanium white, I want to make this little bright spot here and show some white coming in. So without cleaning my brush, I'm picking up raw umber and phthalo blue and some titanium white. And to that I want to warm it up with some cad yellow now, and this is going to change it into this very dull green light color. So with this value now, I want to go ahead and apply that in there as well. So let's make it more vibrant now. Let's take some cad yellow and phthalo blue. See how we make this green a little bit more green now, and add some more white to that, keeping raw umber out of there. And I want to show some more vibrance in this green, and that shows a little bit more light playing in here. And with a little bit more titanium white, I just kind of want to drag that in there and show some sort of cloudy, misty effect. Okay, no cleaning yet, and phthalo blue and a little raw umber to that. And this is a dark value now, and I want to go in there and streak in some dark stuff now. Okay, that same color again, and this time some more white to that, and as you can see it brightens it up. And so it's more of a blue color now, and just filling in some more background stuff there. Okay, now with a clean brush I've got some cad orange, and to that a scoop of phthalo blue to dull it down, a little bit of raw umber to that, and some titanium white to bring it up a bit. And with this dull orange brown color now, I want to take and create sort of the glow in some areas that are going to show some explosions and some fire in the background. Okay, so now to that color, without cleaning my brush, I took some titanium white, and I'm going to add that in the center of some of these, and I want to add more white along the way and just kind of brighten those up. Okay, now I'm taking my 3/8 angle brush because that can help with precise lines, and it's just got the point on it that I love to use. So with just permanent black, I'm going to go up to the top there on his little gadget there, fill that in, and start filling in some areas where it's just permanent black. And also too, I did switch brushes. I'm back to my number 10 flat brush because the angle brush was only for when I was using to fill in the little top of the gadget there that he has above his helmet there. And you can use any brush you want. That's just something I like to use in small detailed areas. So now I'm just continuing to fill in the black where it goes in some areas here and there. Okay, now I'm going to pick up just a little bit of white, and I did not clean my brush. There'll be some direct light striking the arm of this gadget here. Okay, so now with Phthalo Blue, I'm going to go ahead and put some Cad Yellow into that and a little bit of raw umber into that as well. And this is going to be the trio of colors that I'm going to mostly be using, and I will switch blues from Ultramarine to Phthalo Blue, but the Cad Yellow and the raw umber for the most part will be the trio of colors that I go back and forth with. And so with this color now, I'm going to block in for the helmet and some other areas where this value goes, as well as down on the torso. Cleaning my brush again, just grabbing permanent black, and let's go right here and put this value in where this goes. I've picked up a little phthalo blue and lots of white and made this color very light. This is a very light Payne's gray color, and with this I'm going to block in for the missile in the back here. Okay, so now grabbing a darker value of that Payne's gray, that just means less titanium white. And so just going to play these colors in here and just basically block these in at their values. Now just picking up titanium white and no cleaning necessary and just scrubbing that in. Now just picking up more of that Payne's gray, that's blue and black, and just scratching in some more of these details. So now I'm going into this ultramarine blue now, and same thing, I'm going to go with this yellow and the raw umber. So with these trio of colors, the only difference on this is going to be the blues from the phthalo blue to the ultramarine blue, and that changes the flavor of the green, as you can see there. And this will be for his coat or his cape, and in some areas here and there. So no cleaning, and now I'm just taking titanium white and just going to cover the arm up like so. And I actually want to take this mid-tone gray with some black and white now. And what's cool with acrylics is you can just cover anything up anytime, and so this is actually the color I want to use to block in both arms with. And so I'll just cover that up like it never happened. So now taking some phthalo blue, a little bit of black, and I'm going to go in here with some background color that I kind of left out here and just fill that in real quick. So I've got primary red now, and I'm going to put some of this burnt umber in with it and create this Indian red color now. And so with this, I'm going to block in some areas now in the front of the helmet here. Now grabbing permanent black into that mixture, and this is a darker value over here where it's going to be in the shadow area. Okay, with a clean brush now, going into ultramarine blue and Cad Yellow and raw umber to that. So the trio of colors with this blue now, which is the same color as the cape color initially. And I'll block this side in, of course, because we're in a shadow area over here, so this value of green will be darker. Okay, now with a clean brush, I'm going to get Cad Yellow and Cad Orange together. And I want to grab now some raw umber into that. And that dulls it down, makes it kind of orangey, brownish color. And now a little titanium white into that. And I'm looking for this sort of yellow, orangey, dull color. And let's block in the deltoid areas with that. streak that value in right here as well. Now I'm just grabbing permanent black, and I'm going to use that to fill in some of the bottom of the missile here, as well as use it to build some of the shadow details in the missile area. So there'll be one there, and then there'll be one right there, and then down here I'll fill in some of this also. So with permanent black, I'm going to go back into the cape area now and redefine the folds and some of the shadows involved. So with that permanent black now, filling in and blocking in for these shadows right here underneath the deltoids. And with a clean brush now, taking that trio of colors using Ultramarine Blue and filling in right here. Okay, now taking some raw umber and phthalo blue, a little bit of white, and a little bit of cad yellow. And with this darker color now, I want to go in here and just here and there put some of this darker shadow color in. So just making a distinct shadow there on the upper left there where the helmet's going to be showing a shadow from this device arm there. And so now I'm just taking more titanium white to brighten up this color, and with this value I'm going to go in here on this side where there's more light hitting. Okay, with more titanium white there's going to be a direct highlight hitting right here. And just sort of fade that out, and then I'm going to fill in right here where there's going to be a dent in this helmet right there. Okay, so now just picking up some phthalo blue now, raw umber, a little bit of yellow, and no titanium white this time. And right here I just want to make this nice shadow area, and this is going to be the start of the detail shadows that are going to be to show this dent that's in his helmet here. Now just picking up titanium white and no cleaning yet, and right here on the very rim of this dent here, let's bring that and just pull that down just a little bit like so, and right over here also. Okay, same colors with a clean palette now. I've got phthalo blue, this is cad yellow, and of course raw umber for our trio. No titanium white, and I want to go back in and add some more shadow color. Now just grabbing permanent black, and with this I just want to make this line that separates the face from the helmet. And with that color still on my brush, I want to hit a couple shadow areas right here. Okay, going to phthalo blue, cad yellow, some raw umber, and now some titanium white to bring that up and make that light. And so with this lighter color now, I want to go in and I just kind of want to dance that around here and there. With that same color on my brush, I want to stick this reflective highlight color right here. So now I'm just going to take some permanent black, and right here I can just fix this little fuzzy out of bounds right here and smooth that out just like that. And with permanent black, I'm going to come over here as well and continue this line of separation right here. And with that color on my brush right here, I'm just going to reinforce that and just sort of dust that over a little bit here to show more shadow action. Okay, with a clean brush, brush and going back to the trio of Phthalo Blue, Cad Yellow, and Raw Umber, and Titanium White to make it brighter. And this is going to be the indication of another tiny little dent going on there. And so now I just want to take and do this little edge highlight here, and this is going to make this dent pop a little bit more. And I want to drag some of this down and start dancing some of this here and there. And right here on just that side of that shadow color there, and that shows more dimension right there and light hitting that area. So just getting pure titanium white now, and right here just going to drag some of that in. And then of course I don't want to cover all that faded color up because that would take away the brightness and the glow that's going past the white. And the natural look of it would be lost as well if I covered all of it up with pure titanium white. So I'm going to leave some of that faded stuff. And also right here, let's drag some of that down into here. And let's brighten up that highlight there. And in this way, this is really starting to create the dimension and bring out some realistic effects. Okay, now I've got something for you, this Phthalo Blue and this Yellow, and no Raw Umber this time, which means this trio of ours is now down to 2. And as you can see, this value now is a little bit more vibrant and a little different from all the rest. And this is just more detail on the helmet there. So now let's add more Phthalo Blue and make this value a little bit darker now. And let's add some detail lines in here. Now let's get some Cad Yellow and some Titanium White to brighten this value up a little bit. And with this vibrant, brighter color now, just here and there, just going to play that in so that these values are playing with those other ones, making more texture and dimension. And picking up Titanium White on my brush with this color and just a striking highlight right there. Okay, more Cad Yellow now, and a little bit of permanent black this time. And this dulls that yellow down, and now some titanium white. I want this dull green color like this. And with my number 2 flat brush now, I'm just going to use the width of my brush. If you have a bigger canvas than me, then you might want to use maybe like a number 4 flat brush if you want it bigger to be more proportionate, but whatever size you want to use, there's no right or wrong on this. So these are just some more helmet details. I'm taking this dull yellow color now, and as you can see, I'm just putting these little streaks in, or these little square rectangle things. Okay, and so now with a darker value now, I'm just going to go in, and I kind of want to go in between these now and just kind of show some texture and more interest and just sort of pop those out a little bit. Okay, and I want to redefine this shadow here, and I also want to redefine this one as well, and this is going to contrast, making these things pop just a little bit more. Okay, with our nice trio of colors with Phthalo Blue and no Titanium White this time. So with this darker value, I'll just dance that in here and there. Now without cleaning my brush, just taking Titanium White now, and with this lighter color, just going to dance that back in. So after dusting in some shadow color now with this darker value of our trio colors, I'm going to take and dust in this shadow right here also. So going back now to some Titanium White, and I'm brightening up this value now. So just going back and forth between the trio of colors and sometimes more titanium white to vary the values back and forth, but as you can see now, I'm just settling that down and using that to shape that shadow that we just put down earlier as well. So now picking up more titanium white and not covering up all that faded color and just brightening up just part of that right there. And I'll also go in there again one more time. More titanium white, and I did not clean my brush. And just getting brighter each time, building it up. So with that light color, I want to make a highlight right here. And I don't want to bring it all the way up to the black on the top or the bottom, because that black that surrounds us is going to really help complement and pop this bright highlight out. So just going to fill that in with this color left on my brush there for now. And now going back into titanium white, and again I want to reinforce this direct highlight here, and once again I don't want to cover all that faded color up. Okay, with that light color still left on my brush now, I'm going to go right here and just on the edge of this dent here and make that pop a little bit more and sort of meander this down a little bit and just sort of play this in here and show some scratches and some kind of war marks on them. Okay, now just grabbing titanium white now, and I want to go in here and reinforce this highlight. Okay, now going back to that Indian red color now, that's primary red and some burnt umber, and I want to go in with another coat and build up more volume and dimension. Now I'm just going to pick up titanium white into that red color now, and I want to go in there and just sort of dance that in here and there. After dancing in some of that lighter Indian red, now just picking up more titanium white, and just here and there just going to hit some of these direct highlights. And a bright highlight right here also. Okay, now getting Phthalo Blue now, and a little bit of permanent black, and some titanium white to that. Let's brighten that up just a little bit. And with that, I'm going to fill in some more of this rocket here in the back, more titanium white to show a little highlight on the edge there. And now just more permanent black, and I want to start scratching in detail shadows here and there. Okay, so now I'm just going to tap the edge like so and sort of make this sort of fuzzy kind of a mess in a way that's going to be used later when I add titanium white to really show some natural light transition and help to pop those highlights out of there. And that'll just make blending that much easier with that. So now I'm just taking this lighter Payne's Gray now, that's Phthalo Blue and black with some white in it. And this light stuff here, I'm just going to fill that in here and just kind of fill some other areas in with it and streak a line down with that as well right here for the start of some highlights. Okay, and another one right here. Okay, and with that light color left on my brush, again in the same way, I want to sort of fuzz this out into that dark value. As you can see, they're kind of blending together like that. And that's going to act to really help to blend when I put the direct white on there for a direct highlight. Okay, so now with this dark color here, this is permanent black. Just going to fill some areas in down here and scratch some details, reinforce some shadow areas like so, and just sort of build this up a little bit more. Now grabbing titanium white now, and I'm just going to start filling in some really bright highlights and building this up. This direct white highlight here, I want to sort of blend this out, and as you can see, it's blending really nice into that mess that I made earlier, and so that's what that preparation was for. So now that looks a little bit better now and more natural looking. Okay, and now streaking this white highlight up in here, and we're just going to bring this up and continue to add more white and just sort of pop this out and reinforce this. Just getting some of that Payne's Gray, that lighter stuff there. I'm just going to knock back some of that highlight just a little bit there and settle that in, making it more natural. Okay, with more titanium white into that Payne's Gray, and I want to brighten this up. And with more Payne's Gray now and less titanium white for a darker value, I just want to go in there now and just streak in some of the indications of more missile details. And once again, more titanium white. Phthalo Blue and a little bit of permanent black and a little bit of white to that. And so with this, let's go in now and create sort of a bluish glow around some of this white here. reinforce the shadows, and I want to be careful not to go out too far and cover up any of that nice transition we got going on. Ultramarine Blue now, and some raw umber and cad yellow. And this is our cloak color now, and I'm going to go back in now with another layer and add more dimension and depth. Now going back to permanent black, and I want to go in and redefine some of the shadow and cloak folds. Okay, now once again, ultramarine blue, some cad yellow, some raw umber, and now this time I want some titanium white to brighten that up. And I'm going to hit the cloak here and there with some of these highlights. Okay, going back to those trio again of colors, only Phthalo Blue is involved instead of Ultramarine Blue now, and no titanium white. And I want to make this darker value now, and I want to sort of scratch that into the torso area here and there. Now taking permanent black now, and I want to create some of these shapes in the torso area here. And this is just going to show some just shape and texture that's going on, and just some of these shadow details involved. So now I'm getting some Payne's Gray now, some more white in it, and with this light Payne's Gray color again right here, I'm just going to hit this little reflective highlight going on right there. And with that same reflective highlight, let's go inside the armor, and just on one side of the shadow here, as you can see, this is starting to pop this out now and give this suit some dimension. Right underneath the shadow of the cape here. Let's give that reflective highlight right there just a little bit. And drag that through like so. Okay, now just titanium white into this color, and just here and there, but not everywhere. And it just kind of brightens it up and shows a little bit of light play happening. Taking primary red and just going to give the indication of some kind of computer something happening or other in here, and a little bit of white in there, just kind of here and there, showing some light playing on those. Okay, just a little half moon symbol right here, that lighter color, and just going to dance that in for some scratches and a little bit of texture here and there, a little bit of a highlight hitting this right there, and just kind of here and there. Now grabbing some black and white for a mid-tone gray color now, or actually something a little darker than mid-tone, and I want to start making these shadows for some of the bends in the sleeves here. Now grabbing more titanium white, and I'm just going to play this in here. And going back to black and getting darker gray again, and I'm going to play these back in here. So I'm just going to play these values back and forth and build up the dimension, the texture, settle these shadows down a little bit, build up the highlights a little bit. And so we're just going to make this pop out of here. So as you can see now, I'm getting more titanium white, and now I'm getting permanent black, and I want to reinforce this shadow right here and make it very dark right next to the orange value color there where it's coming right out. And just sort of play this around and dust it in. Okay, so now more black, more white, getting this gray, and let's go on this side now and let's make some of these shadow details here. Okay, taking some of that Indian red color now and some cad yellow to that and some white. And just going to use this little dull color here to fill this in. And now a little titanium white for a little highlight there. Okay, now with permanent black, I'm going to go in here and start to create this shadow underneath over here. Okay, so now we're going into this dull orangey color there. That's cad orange, a little bit of phthalo blue, some raw umber, and we had more titanium white. So less titanium white, as you can see, the value is a little darker now. And I want to scratch that in here and there and start to build the dimension here on the deltoids. Okay, now picking up more titanium white for this color, and as you can see, a little bit lighter now, and I want to go in here and add some more sort of highlight color and more texture and have these values playing together. Okay, now with permanent black and my number 2 flat brush now, I'm going to take and put this little badge symbol here and just fill this in real quick. Okay, with a clean brush now, I'm back to my color here with more titanium white in it. I'm going to go and start applying for direct highlights. Okay, now picking up some cad yellow into that mixture and some more titanium white. And I want to change the flavor a little bit and give sort of this light reflective color right here. Now with permanent black, I'm just going to go and reinforce this shadow right here. And just sort of drag that down and give this nice definition. Grabbing titanium white now with this color and just going to apply this direct highlight right here. And right here I want the white just a little bit heavier in some spots, and this just really shows some transparent reflection going on there. sign this with the script liner brush now with lots of water and titanium white. I want to thank you guys so much for watching and joining me, and if you found this lesson to be inspirational, enjoyable, and helpful, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any lessons I'll be putting out on a weekly basis. And if you have any questions or comments, please drop those down below. I'd love to hear from you guys. And until next time, guys, happy painting.